Hello again. I am Jason, the autistic author, and I am exhausted. It's been a very long night. It's 9:30 Monday morning, and I've been awake since Saturday. That's what happens with autistic hyperfocus. The point of this video is the fifth intro video. The question I'd written, or the statement, the musing point was, why am I so special that I am doing this, that I think that my vlog in particular can be so significant? Well, I don't think it can be so significant. I would like it to be, because I spent 50 years in a prison I didn't know I was in. I've only been aware that I'm autistic for 9-10 weeks, and that has been the greatest liberation of my life. But the processes that I've been going through have been very curious, very interesting. I don't want to say too much, but I am certainly no stranger to altered states of consciousness, and I have been having revelations, certainly daily, often every hour or two, and some of them are kind of Damascene, road to Damascus experiences, and it's just odd. It's truly odd. And any autistic who's known they're autistic for a while will relate to this, that when you're overburdened, and it doesn't take a lot for someone on the autism spectrum. Don't like that phrase. It's potentially misleading, but I'll come to that in the channel, the playlist, whatever, about language. The problems inherent in living with a brain that's at war with itself when you don't know that it's at war with itself make life exceptionally difficult on pretty much every level. And when I realised that I'm autistic, and I have not yet been quote unquote diagnosed, part of the purpose of wanting to build a community and a strong, very cohesive community of mutually supporting neurodivergent people is so that we can challenge with some authority, some gravitas, the pathologizing of anybody who is neurodivergent. It is considered abnormal, but it's not. And I will give you the rough and ready definition of psychologically abnormal as used by psychiatrists and their professional counterparts, clinical psychologists and forensic psychologists. Forensic psychology is not an exciting career. It's nothing like Cracker or any of those kind of TV shows where it's all about criminal profiling. Actually, it's about spending your working week in a prison dealing with a lot of rather unpleasant individuals. Fascinating if that's your bag, but nah, not for me. Health psychology is where my interest really lies, and in particular communication and the language that's used, and the way that the language forms preconceptions. I'll talk about this in the video on neuroqueering and the power of naming, so I won't go into it here. The sole purpose of this video, which I will try to keep short, is why me? Well, why not me? I realised that I was autistic at 50 years and several months. I got a good first-class degree in psychology with counselling theory a few years before, 2014 actually. I developed a very strong interest in the psychology of health and self-concept, and how our thinking affects not just how we behave towards ourselves, obviously, but it feeds into, I think it was Richard Bandura, psychologist, I may be wrong on that, who coined the phrase reciprocal determinism, which simply means that my behaviour affects your behaviour, and your behaviour affects my behaviour, and so it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in a group, round and round, and yeah, so that's what happens there. And although it's not strictly about psychopathology, Michel Foucault, I can never pronounce his name right, I always want to say Foucault, French dude, his take was that personality doesn't actually exist. It's an echo of the social, and I thought that was utterly nuts when I first heard it. But the more I thought about it, I thought, actually, yeah, you tie that in with reciprocal determinism, and you do get that situation where you can judge a person by their 5 closest friends. It's true. It's not saying I totally agree with Foucault. Sorry, Michelle. I think he's dead now anyway. But anyway, the point is that I have had a very interesting life that's taken me down some particularly curious avenues. Shitty childhood, dyslexic, didn't find that out till I was 11, bullied horrendously, stopped going to school, so they put me into care, place run by paedophiles. Fortunately, they didn't fancy me, but they nearly destroyed my dear friend who exposed them. Not the best choice of word, perhaps, but a really wonderful stand-up guy. And yeah, sorry Dad, but if I could have picked my own father, it would have been Roger. So there it is. I spewed out of care at 15, called myself a writer, had no clue about anything. Had more jobs than most people have had pairs of shoes. That's kind of literal. I've had probably 150 jobs. And then bounced back from being a homeless alcoholic to train as a professional masseur. Chronic pain condition meant that I had to stop. That's what began my interest in these in the psychology of health. Because I have a condition called hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which causes a lot of pain. I'm in quite a bit of pain right now, but I'm really good at hiding it. You will see micro expressions when I can't prevent that, but I'm very good at hiding my pain unless it's really bad. During my degree, I developed an absolute, just overwhelming passion for the nature of biases, self-serving and self-defeating. Look up attribution theory. That's a really interesting area of social psychology. Look at the fundamental attribution error. It's right up there with the just world fallacy. So I call it the just world hypothesis, but it's just in deference to the scientific method. But I'm rigorous, I'm thorough, I'm determined. I hate bullies. I will not stop. I will not balk at any legitimate challenge which doesn't break my really quite strict moral code. But I used to work in high level executive telesales, so I will have no problem. It might take me a week, but I'll get anybody on the phone and browbeat them into an interview if I can. I've just got a huge amount of skills and experience that really fit with this. So it's not that I think I'm the right guy, like the only one. It's just that this confluence of circumstance and situation and everything has just kind of clicked at the right time. And that's it, really. I'm 50. I don't expect to live more than another 15, 20 years if I'm lucky. My life's been shit, and I now understand that my life has been shit because of autism. I'm a writer focused on empowerment through information. That extends to wanting to be involved in filmmaking. I've kind of dabbled around with that, not necessarily filmmaking, but done like theatrical lighting and been on stage a few times, literally a few times. Quite funny. I won't tell you the details. I'll leave that one a mystery. Just like chuckle myself whenever I raise it. I will probably replace this with a more focused, succinct video when I'm not falling down tired. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope you found these videos informative and giving you some sense of positivity, some hope that this is going to be different, because I'm structuring it like a major research project, and then I just want more people to come on board. I don't want to be the only one sat in front of the camera. Of course I do on a certain ego level, but I want to have set in motion a process that will become unstoppable and make it impossible for people in the workplace to bully those who are neurodivergent, which is a major problem. I didn't know it was not what everybody else did to watch people, and so you can mirror their behaviours to try and fit in. I didn't know that that's not what. I didn't know that was abnormal until a few weeks ago. So yeah, I don't need a professional to tell me that I'm autistic. I only need that official recognition because we live in a hierarchical system that affords Status to, well, I'm not going to say what I really think about psychiatrists and psychiatry, because if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything. But it's toxic. Thank you for your time. Hopefully you'll be back and you'll build your confidence and reach the point where you're ready to contribute. We're in it together, and we got to help each other. Thank you very much for watching.